Hey, what's going on everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Sound Design Lab. My name is Jacobo, and today we're going to be having our first episode of VST Talk, where I'm going to show you 5 free effects VSTs that have greatly impacted my music, and where to find them and how to use them. So to start us off, we're going to go ahead and go into our mixer, and I'm going to load up our first VST, which is my personal favorite, which was actually shown to me by a good friend of mine whose SoundCloud I will link in the description. Go check out his music. His name is Dekuu or Dekuu, however you want to pronounce it. And Fracture is a glitch / artifact creator where you can run pretty much any sound through and it'll just do all sorts of crazy things that you can record in order to make like glitchy fills, even like bass leads and other crazy stuff. To show you an example of how to use it, I'm gonna go ahead and bring up the playlist, and here you just see I have 3 samples that are from the Woolly Mammoth pack on Splice. I really like them. They're very let's turn this down. I very much recommend turning down like your volume on your mixer because things can get really loud with this VST. And already weird stuff is happening. Let me turn that off because I have these routed through the channel that my Fracture is on. So they're just really weird noise. So we're gonna go ahead and turn on our Fracture, and then we're gonna just play while Fracture just does its thing, and we're gonna go ahead and change the knobs. So if we wanted to, we could go and hit record. I'm not gonna do that right now, but you can just go ahead and go into all these different settings. Personally, I really like Neuromantic. I'm gonna go ahead and, this is the filter right here that applies to your sounds. I'm just turn that off. I'm going to take this delay right here. This is your delay. I'm gonna turn that off. Delay mix to 0. And I'm gonna turn the wet Fracture all the way up so we can get the most out of the effect. I'm gonna go ahead and play. And then I'm just gonna start messing with these 3 values right here, the size, the repeats, and the ratio of the effect. And I'm gonna tell you what, you're gonna get a lot of weird noises. So it might take a lot of playing around to finally get some gold, but I have personally had a lot of success with this. Over here you have different kinds of effects you can use in terms of wavetable. So you can really mess around with any sound that you find on there. You can even create your own sounds, go through, and it sounds like a lot of noise, but very often when you find the right settings, you'll just get something really cool. And I'll actually show you an example. I have a song I will bring over in a second that is completely made out of things that I created in Fracture. It's a weird song that maybe you will just listen to and think this is garbage, but that's okay. I'm gonna show it to you anyways. And it is this song right here. So that's a good example of the sounds you can use, or a good example of a song that is wonky that you can create out of Fracture. So that's it for this one. We're gonna go ahead and move on to our next one. So for this one, we have another favorite of mine under the name of MGF-TimeWarp, which allows you to add pitch modulation to your sounds. To show you a good example of this, we have this sound right here in one of the songs I've created. Well, let's go ahead and turn on that MGF-TimeWarp and see what it sounds like now. This has a lot more. lot more character than it did before. So in this you have your frequency, which is the rate at which you are modulating your pitch, and then the amount right here. And I tend to always turn up the smooth right here because it really takes a lot of the grittiness out of the effect. And then here I believe we have our LFO rate, and then the level at which those change. So very, very cool plugin. I very, very much recommend it. So that's it for this one. Up next we have a plugin with a very interesting name, Son of a Pitch. And what I found this to be useful for is for samples that you tend to have a hard time instantly changing the pitch up and down with, is you can just kind of go here and change the octave, and this knob will simply change that pitch of the sound however you want it to, up or down, and you can automate it to do so inside your DAW. Now, something that I do recommend doing is that once you're done, that you bounce whatever part of the sound you made change to another audio file, because this does tend to change volume in a weird way, and you might want to readjust that. Other than that, I really recommend going through all of these different effects you can do alongside your pitch. You can do a lot of interesting things with it. Something else I wanted to mention about the plugin is that when you do add it in, you are going to need to go inside and change the name, because for some reason when I first loaded it up, it had the name Synth Edit, which was a little confusing, and I had no idea where my plugin is until I found it and changed it. A good example of this plugin in use would be a song I created about 2 years ago called Outcast, and I'll just show you a tiny clip of that so you can get an idea. So right there you heard the sound drop and then come back up, and it created kind of a cool fill for your music. And that's going to be it for this one. We'll move on to the next. For a fourth plugin, we actually have two that I'm going to show you because they essentially do very similar things. Is Unlimited by Sonic Anomaly is very good at surround mastering and limiting. Most of the time I just throw it on because it does a very, very good job of increasing the volume of your song without sacrificing dynamic or changing it too much. So you can mix really low and then at the end just kind of throw this on. And then for my limiting, I actually use LoudMax. And LoudMax is a great plugin for limiting because it's very simple and easy to use and allows you to just change the threshold on a dime. And it's as simple as that, honestly. So like I have this just song real quick, and if I turn both of them off, very quiet. It's a great way to get some extra volume out of your song without having to spend too much time. My fifth plugin that I'm going to show you is one you probably already know about. I was going to do soft tube saturation knob, but this is a new install because I got a new computer, and the process to get that VST is very, very annoying and frustrating. You have to download a software, you have to make an account, all that. So I'm just going to make the fifth one a plugin that you should have already and already know, but on the off chance that you don't, it is incredibly useful, and that is XFer's free OTT. And if you've watched any Serum tutorials, you know that the OTT in Serum is incredibly useful for making a sound just stronger than ever and adding more frequencies, and you can now do that to any single sample. So you can go in and just make it brighter, louder, in different ranges, and it's just incredibly useful, and I recommend just picking this up if you haven't already. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you picked up a new plugin that you use in your music, or that this made some impact on your music. And if you want to drop a VST that you personally think is very useful that's free in the comments, go ahead and send a like and subscribe my way. Thank you so much.